Level 1. The Visible Life. You are 26 years old. It is Monday morning. You pull into work in a leased Jetta you absolutely did not need. Your old Civic still ran. But you just got promoted. Salary, $58,000. And showing up to client meetings in a 10-year-old car suddenly felt like admitting you had not made it yet. So now you have the Jetta, $327 a month. A nicer apartment, a store credit card, and one designer bag sitting on that card at 24.9% APR. From the outside, things finally look better. Inside your bank account, $340 in checking, $9,100 on the card, nothing invested. You are earning more money than you ever have, and somehow owning less of your life. You do not think this is unusual. Everybody around you is doing some version of the same thing. Your friend Tyler drives a BMW, better apartment, better watch, better pictures. He makes about what you make. The difference is mostly where the money becomes visible. Then, one Friday night, your grandfather's old business partner comes over for dinner. Walter, 74. Old windbreaker. Dented Volvo. Someone jokes, "Walter, you owned car dealerships. Why are you still driving that thing?" Walter looks outside at the Volvo, then says, "The car doesn't know what I'm worth, neither does anybody looking at it." That's usually the point. Conversation moves on. You don't. That sentence follows you home. That night, you open every financial account you have, checking $340. Credit card debt, $1,900. Investments, zero. Car obligation, thousands still ahead. You are 26 years old. Salary sounds respectable. Net worth does not. And for the first time you understand, you have been optimizing your finances to look successful before building anything success could stand on. Level 2. The leak. You finally read the credit card statement. $1,900. 24,009%. That balance costs roughly $39 a month in interest if it stays around that level. $39. For nothing. No better apartment. No nicer dinner. No extra bag. Just yesterday, charging rent to today. And 24.9% is not some impossible fake rate. The Federal Reserve's latest published data show credit card accounts actually being charged interest averaged about 22.15%. You were worrying about finding the right investment, while interest was already compounding against you. That changes the order. Before you try to become an investor, you become financially harder to damage. You keep a small emergency reserve, you attack the card, and you finally pull your credit reports. Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. You check for accounts that are not yours. Wrong late payments. Duplicate debts. Closed accounts reported open. Wrong balances. Wrong limits. Those are exactly the kinds of errors the CFPB tells consumers to review. You dispute what is genuinely inaccurate. You pay what is genuinely yours. That distinction matters. Because real credit repair is not pretending the past never happened. It is making sure the report does not punish you for things that did not happen. 11 months later, the store card hits zero, and something strange happens. The payment you are sending toward debt does not become shopping money. It becomes investment money. That is the first real shift. Level 3. The boring years. You open an investment account. First deposit, $50. Almost embarrassing. You expected investing to feel sophisticated. It feels like transferring $50 during lunch. Then you automate $150 from every paycheck. Later $200. Then $300. Nothing dramatic happens. No viral stock. No overnight win. Just money leaving before you get the chance to spend it. Investor. Gov explains that investing over long periods can benefit from compound growth, while also making clear that returns are not fixed or guaranteed. It notes some experts use roughly 7%, 10% as a long-term estimate for diversified U.S. stock investments based on historical averages. You use 7% for planning, not because the market owes you 7%, because you need an assumption for the calculator. At 27, the account still looks tiny. At 29, It finally crosses around $20,000. And this part is psychologically weird. Nobody notices. Your apartment looks the same. Your car is older now. Tyler upgrades his BMW. Your account grows. His car gets newer. Guess which one gets more compliments? This is when Walter's sentence starts making sense. Looking rich makes money visible. Becoming wealthy makes the progress visible mostly to you. The boringness becomes the mechanism. Level 4. The test. You are 32. Your career has improved. Income is higher. You are investing much more now because every raise no longer automatically becomes lifestyle. Then the market drops hard. Your account falls by an amount that would have terrified the 26-year-old version of you. You open the app. Red, again tomorrow. Red, you want to sell. You tell yourself, I'll get back in when things calm down. But calm is only obvious afterward. So instead of pretending nothing happened, you tell yourself the truth. The portfolio is worth less today. That is real. But you have not automatically proven the long-term plan wrong. You are diversified. Your horizon is measured in years. You keep contributing. Not because markets always recover on your preferred schedule. They do not. Because you built the plan knowing market declines would eventually happen. Months later, in this story, markets improve. The balance climbs again. But the number is not the important part. The important part is what the decline taught you. You can watch money fall without turning fear into a button press. That lesson will become more valuable as the account gets larger. Level 5, the raise that changes everything. You get offered a director-level job, salary jumps to $86,000, and the company gives you a $650 monthly car allowance. Old you sees the allowance and immediately starts shopping. Mercedes, something that makes the promotion visible. Current you pauses. The Civic still runs. So you keep it. And redirect the $650. Not forever. Not because nice cars are evil. Because right now, the future needs the money more than the parking lot does. At a hypothetical 7% average return, investing $650 a month for 25 years would grow to roughly $500,000. Again, not guaranteed. The point is, opportunity cost. The lease gives you a newer dashboard for a few years. The investment has decades to become something else, and now your credit has changed too. Lower balances. Years of protected payments. Fewer random applications. You no longer walk into a dealership and ask, can you get me approved? The CFPB recommends checking your reports first and getting pre-approvals from multiple lenders before shopping for the vehicle. Clustered auto loan inquiries within roughly 14-45 days are generally treated as one inquiry for scoring purposes. Strong credit changes the question. Can you beat the offer I already have? Wealth eventually changes it again. Do I need this loan at all? Level 6, when emergencies stop being emergencies. You are 35. Your car finally needs a major repair. Estimate, $2,700. The mechanic gives you the number slowly, preparing for the reaction. You say, okay, fix it. Your partner looks at you. You didn't even flinch. And that sentence lands harder than an investment milestone, because years earlier, $400 could ruin the month. Now, $2,700 is annoying, but it is not dangerous. Why? Not because your brokerage account had a good week. Because you built layers. Emergency cash. No high-interest revolving debt. A stronger credit profile. Investments, lower fixed expenses. Investor, Gov specifically recommends combining long-term investing with controlling credit card debt and maintaining rainy day funds so unexpected expenses do not immediately force you back into debt. This is what people misunderstand about wealth. They think the first benefit is luxury. It is not. The first benefit is that ordinary problems stop behaving like financial catastrophes. Then you finally replace the Civic. Not with the most expensive car you qualify for. A reliable 2-year-old sedan. You could buy something more impressive. You just no longer need the car to explain you to strangers. Level 7. The quiet freedom. Years pass. Income rises again. Contributions rise. The portfolio crosses 6 figures. Then keeps going. The exact balance matters less than the structure underneath it. 1 year, your company offers you a promotion, $34,000 more. But the job means constant travel. Late nights, a boss known for burning people out. At 26, refusing $34,000 more would have felt insane. Now you calculate differently. You have cash reserves, low consumer debt, investments, strong credit, a manageable lifestyle. You are not financially independent yet. But your monthly obligations are no longer holding a knife to every career decision, so you turn it down. And that may be the first moment you actually feel wealthy, not when the account crossed some round number. When money allowed you to say no. That is the difference between having money and having options. Tyler takes the promotion at his company. New title, new car, bigger house, more income, more obligations. You do not judge him. Because you remember the Jetta. You remember wanting success to be obvious from across the parking lot. You just know something now that you did not know then. High income and high net worth are not the same thing. And approval and affordability are not the same thing. Looking wealthy and becoming difficult to financially control are definitely not the same thing. One morning years later, you are standing in the kitchen. Coffee. Ordinary mug. Ordinary car outside. Your neighbor is loading luggage into a new Range Rover. He waves. You wave. Then you glance at your investment account. The number is large enough that the 26-year-old version of you would stare at it for an hour. You look for maybe 5 seconds. Close the app. Go to work. Not because the money means nothing. Because it already did its most important work. It changed what can scare you. It changed what you have to tolerate. It changed the deals you can reject, the loans you can walk away from, the emergencies you can absorb, the jobs you can refuse. And the funny part is, almost nobody knows. That used to bother you. Now you understand Walter. The car does not know what you are worth. Neither does the person beside you at the stoplight. And eventually you realize they never needed to. Because real wealth is not the ability to make strangers think you have money. It is the ability to make decisions without desperately needing money to arrive next Friday. Bad credit makes the lifestyle more expensive. Strong credit gives you leverage. Savings gives you breathing room. Investments give time something to compound. And eventually, wealth gives you the power not to perform any of it. At 26, you wanted people to see that you were doing well. Years later, you finally are doing well. And somehow, you care much less whether anybody can see it. That is the part nobody tells you. Looking rich is loud. Getting free is usually very, very quiet, based on the narrative structure and quiet wealth progression of the provided reference.